Hey, it's Josh from Interact. I want to talk about how to ask better quiz questions that connect you with your customer, get them warmed up to who you are, build some rapport, and then eventually allow you to offer up products and solutions that that customer might actually want to purchase, not because it's being pitched in a certain way, but because they actually feel like that product is for them because they feel like you can understand them based on the questions that you've asked and the questions that they've answered to give you information so that you can then recommend the right products and services. So I have three quick tips for how to do this. These are more mindset things. And I would argue that these are actually really important in any sort of marketing that you do, not just writing quiz questions, because these are tips that will help you better connect with your audience and show that you understand them. So, the first one here is that you want every question to be directed towards the person answering the question. The tendency that I see a lot of is people want to ask quiz questions or survey questions to gather data. And yes, that is a really important aspect of what a quiz can do. It can help you gather that zero party data so that you can better understand your audience. But when you go straight into it and you're just steamrolling ahead and it's like, what's your budget? As the first question, that's an example I see a lot of, something like that. Nobody wants to answer that because immediately it's just going to trigger a red flag. It's just going to feel like, why am I filling this out? I'm just giving this brand information so that they can sell me stuff or send me ads or whatever. You want to target it towards the person, make it about them. At the end of the day, if you're able to give the person what they want, then you're going to be able to get what you want, which is to increase sales, get more leads, that kind of stuff. But first, you got to give the people what they want and then align yourself with the expectations of what they're looking for. So that's the biggest thing, is always make those questions about the person answering the question. The second thing that's really key, so the second point here, is to demonstrate an understanding of the person's life within the way that you ask the questions. And the easiest possible way to do this is actually just to ask the questions like you would to somebody in real life. If you're in business, if you've been in business for a while, then you've for sure had a conversation with somebody about whether or not you could be helpful to them. Even if it's, a referral that you got, somebody was like, hey, this person could be helpful, you guys should connect. You're going to be asking questions to try to better understand whether you can be helpful. And that's how you want to ask these questions. So here's an example here. It's a scenario type question from a financial quiz. And this question is written how you might ask it in real life. It's time to go grocery shopping. How do you do that, right? And so it's just very important here to ask these questions, showing that you understand the customer. And that's a very subtle psychological thing because you're not saying outright, like, hey, I understand you. That's overplayed. That's just really not an effective strategy because it's just very clear that you're trying to sell somebody something and you're trying to connect with them so that you can sell them something. But doing it this way really just shows that you actually get it. Because at the end of the day, what are you actually really trying to do? You're actually trying to help somebody. And if you can't help them with whatever problem they're having that they're coming to you for, then they're not going to be a good long-term customer anyways. And so it's really best practice just to be really straightforward here and just ask these questions like you would in real life, even if it means that part of what you're doing is eliminating a lot of potential customers. You're qualifying your leads. So that is the second thing here that's really important. The third thing that I really think is underrated in terms of how to ask questions is just to ask them how you ask them. There's so much noise when it comes to marketing. People are telling you, do this, do that, be on this platform, be on that platform, dance, sing, whatever, right? Like, it's an endless pit of shoulds, like the Brene Brown thing. We're all shoulding on ourselves, right? And hopefully that doesn't get bleeped because I'm saying should, not the other word. shoulding. We're all shooting on ourselves, and there's a lot of things that you should do, but at the end of the day, what we've seen and the data actually reflects this is when you ask the questions like you just talk and demonstrate who you are and you connect, that's going to work a lot better because what is a quiz all about? What is marketing all about? It's really just helping you to better connect with your audience, demonstrate that you do understand them and that you could be helpful to them. And part of that is just going to be asking questions like you would in real life, like you are a person, because at this point, right, everybody's so tired of things just being automated and getting these emails, and everything just feels so sterile. And so if you can just ask these questions and just be authentic to how you really do business, that's also going to be the best way to give people a preview of how you operate anyways. So those are my 3 tips. And again, we've seen probably hundreds of millions of questions get answered at this point. Actually, definitely hundreds of millions. On a monthly basis, tens of millions of questions get answered. So we have a lot of data on what actually causes people to want to answer those questions and finish a quiz. And we also have the anecdotal, the qualitative side where we've talked to a lot of people about what works. And these 3 keys will get you really, really far. So again, talk to the person who is taking your quiz. Inject your personality and talk like you would in real life. And then create questions that show that you understand the person who is taking the quiz, and you basically speak to them as they are used to being spoken to, or they can empathize with how it is that you're asking the questions. And that's going to do wonders for creating a connection and actually getting people to be interested and aligned with your offerings so that they're more likely to go on and work with you or refer people to you or make a purchase. So again, those are 3 keys to writing effective quiz questions that help you to connect with your audience and eventually align so that you can recommend products and services that they'll want to.